And so the course itself, I was talking to some of them before this. You can look at the material on the table there behind. The main focus of the way the course is set up is it's 40 weeks. This year it goes from September to July. The only reason it's July is because of Ramadan. We have breaks. So Ramadan's a full break. So I had to put it into July, unfortunately. Last year, I think we finished at the end of May this year. And we have breaks. People say, is there no breaks? There's Christmas breaks, there's New Year, the New Year and stuff. When basically there's a national holiday, you have breaks. I know people got family and they won't be able to turn up. So I've got a course outline of all the dates so you can have a look at that. Okay, and the course itself is those 40 weeks, and it's 2 hours on the ground. Okay, for those people who are doing it as a on the ground class, some people are doing it online as well. That's videoed, and that's sent out 24 hours with you guys. It will actually come before your lesson, because I video Keithley's class. So generally the video is available the next day, and so you can watch the video before you even come to class. Okay. That video is sent to you through an online portal, whereby you can download it, so you get lifetime access to it. Then, so that's 2 hours class time. Then on Thursdays, generally it's on Thursdays, depending on 6 to 7, depending on Maghrib and depending on some commitments I have. Sometimes I move it to Friday, because the next study week starts with a Saturday, because Blackburn's first. We do an online revision class. That online revision class, you can all come onto it live, and you can follow and you can type and engage with me on the bar. There's a bar where you type, basically, questions as we go through them, and I ask questions and everyone gives their answers and so forth. That's 1 hour. If you can't attend that, you get to access it even after the class, and you can download it, so you've got access to life for that as well. And so you can't really drop out on this course because of that, because you've got the material. I know that a lot of people are online learners, and I said to some of the students that are here at the beginning, you always, this is a course that's not focused on basically fully comprehending everything, and until I've got it, then I move on. It's not like that, because we're constantly going over the material over and over again, so it's constantly being reinforced. You're not supposed to get it all at once. There's as I said, you do the 2 hours. We introduce a grammar point, and I simplify the grammar as much as I can. All the vocabulary is for Quranic, and it's 80% of the vocabulary that comes up regularly in the Quran. When I introduce a grammar point, I do loads of reinforcement. Even after the revision class, I even give more examples. So you can do it. I try to give as much as I can to students so they cannot complain they haven't got enough to get on with. So it's a small grammar point, then loads of reinforcement practice. Okay, then we move on to the next key. The next grammar term, and that's reinforcing the first one anyway. So you're constantly revisiting it, and so you don't have to do a lot of memorization. I talk about familiarize, don't memorize. And sometimes you might not get the grammar point. That doesn't matter. Sometimes it takes a time for it to sink in, and because you're going to be seeing it regularly, it will end up sinking in. Okay. So that's in terms of the grammar. That's in terms of the vocabulary. The vocabulary is reinforced though through vocabulary apps. I give you a vocabulary app. I've got 2 types that I send out once a week. You'll get that. So when you're free and you're twiddling your thumbs, you've got nothing to do, you can go over the vocabulary on your vocabulary app as well. Okay. Any more questions about the actual structure of the course? Did anyone have any more questions about the structure?
Could you just tell us where the classes are and what times again?
Yeah.
And what days? Yeah,
and Charlotte, well done. You've reminded me. If you can't, so the classes are Blackburn Saturdays 11 to 1, Leeds Sunday 11 to 1. Leeds is near Grand Mosque. If you know Grand Mosque, there's that road, Woodsey Road. There's a language centre just below Leeds Grand Mosque. That's 11 to 1. Then Keighley Monday 7 to 9. Then Bradford here 7 to 9. So if you can't attend the class that you're usually on, you can attend the other ones. If you can't do that, you can just access the video at your own convenience as well. And as I said, a number of people are actually just doing it online as well. You get it's one folder, and it's this year it's just one folder, and it's got all the info. I've actually slowed down the course. Last year we actually did the weak verbs as well, but I realised that I went a bit too fast at the beginning for people. So the foundational stuff's really important, that we spend as much time on it so that people get it, because you're still acclimatising to the speed of the course and so forth. at the beginning, so it's really important we go slow at that point. And so it's really stretched out, it's slowed down the pace as much as I possibly could really. And then, as I said, after you finish the year, then there's 2 other 10-week online modules. I couldn't do it on the ground because the students are from all these different localities. So that's online, and that's weak verbs and the 10 forms of the verb. You don't need to know what that means at this point. And because we use a specific dictionary, it's a one done by Abdul Halim, who translated the Quran. If you're familiar with him, he's from SOAS. It's a you can download it as a free. I shouldn't really say this, but it's a free PDF online because the book's about 150 quid or something. Yeah, so it's very expensive. So you can add that. You can do a feature now where if you've got it in your tablet, you can actually mark the pages and stuff. So but that's brilliant, that dictionary, because it's completely focused on the Quran. And so it makes looking up words a lot easier, and it tells you how many times it comes up in the Quran. It gives you all these different, the shades of meaning, the different nuances as well. And so I teach you how to use a dictionary so that basically you've got all the tools. So by the end of the year, you've got the tools in order to connect to the Quran. Obviously, it's going to take a while for you to, you're not expected after the 40 weeks. Suddenly, I put on the Quran and I'm like, whoa, I'm just understanding it all. It's not that you're not going to get that. That even me, myself, sometimes, this course is a connection to the Quran. The rest is about engaging with the Quran for the rest of your life now. You've got the tools in order to do that. It's just now we're reinforcing it. So after this year, we do those 2 modules. Then after that, we go through surahs. I offer those. So surah, like for example, a 10-week course on Surah Mulk, where each week we go through 3 verses, and we really go into it and analyse like we're doing here, and trying to find how is this relevant to us so that we can really experience the Quran and appreciate it. And so that's basically the main structure of the course. Any more questions about that?